Today, I'm going to do some landscape photography in the heart of Toronto. And I got my friend Andy with me.
And while we're doing the photography, we're also going to learn a few things about the history of this fascinating city.
I'm in Toronto for the weekend, and today is a Sunday morning, and I'm with my friend Andy, who's a travel writer and has got a website called Earth Trippers. Now, Andy happens to live in Toronto and knows the area well, so he's showing me around the east side of the city, and we've got a walk planned, and let's just hope we can survive the cold, because it's actually minus 27 with the wind chill. And there's Andy busy taking pictures already. He's just starting without me. He's so keen.
Right, you know what? It's freezing out here, but look at the light. Look at the old freighter out there in the clouds. You never see that down here. You got to come out really early in the morning to catch this. So we might as well get it while we're here.
There's not a lot of interest in this composition other than the light itself that's reflecting off the lake and the colour in the clouds. So we're shooting at f11, 13th of a second, and going to do some bracketed shots as well. And just take a look at this. This is the skating rink, but everywhere is icy right now. You can skate wherever you want right now, on the streets, you name it. We're not hanging around and doing as many shots as we could have, because to be frank, the wind is coming off of the lake and it's freezing. This is the Distillery District. Now, here's some history. It was started in 1832, and by 1860 was the largest distillery in the world.
Not too many fine whiskeys here anymore. Mostly art galleries, studios, condos, of course, and the old buildings that are all still here. Now, you know, for a while, this was all just a set for movies. This was all abandoned, but they didn't tear it down. They've made countless movies here. If you've seen movies that were shot here, you just don't know it.
There are a ton of grungy old buildings and artifacts here to photograph. It's a photographer's paradise. We're going to do some, but because we're so cold, I think we need to get a coffee first. What'd you say?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Warm our fingers up.
You still got all your fingers? I think I lost one. So we've just come in for a quick coffee break and to warm up, and here's a little tip, something you want to be wary of. When you're outside in extreme cold temperatures with your camera gear, when you come inside somewhere warm, and this is really warm and toasty in here, you just got to be careful of, you want to keep your camera in your camera bag sealed up, and you certainly don't want to be changing lenses inside a place like this, because the condensation, if you get condensation on your sensor and you go back outside and it freezes, you're kind of screwed for the rest of the day. It's time to get back outside in the cold and see if we can get some interesting compositions around around these old buildings. Let's do some photography. Everybody with a camera that comes to the Distillery District photographs this old truck. So that's the Distillery District. We didn't get too much because it was just too cold to shoot, to be honest. So now Andy is taking us along the road to a park, and that park leads to a river trail which heads north. What are we doing, about 2 or 3 miles? Does it go? No, about 2 or 3 miles north. Never been there before. We might get some shots, we might not, but you know what? Regardless, it's a nice walk to do in the city. Let's go. We found the trail along the river and we're just gonna do some exploring and see what we can find up here. Starts off not looking very promising, but we do know it opens up into more of a valley a little bit further up. We're on the old Eastern Avenue Bridge, which is a fine bit of old Toronto architecture. Let's see if we can get a few shots.
You know, it's a little cold here and things are falling apart. I don't know, do you need a lamp? We have one right here. So we're on the trail. Obviously we're right in the city. You can see behind me the expressway and everything. There's condos all around us. And you might think there's no nature left in Toronto. But look what we just found here. There is nature. Beavers are on the river. Right, we're coming up to the Bloor Street Viaduct, which is the big bridge that goes across Bloor that connects the center of the city with the east part of the city. It was built in the early 1900s. Here's the interesting thing. That was long before we had a subway here. Nobody had any plans for a subway except the architect of the bridge. He built the bridge in the back of his mind knowing one day there's going to be a subway, and he built it so you could put a lower deck underneath the road, and that's where the subway runs today. If it wasn't for him, we'd be building another bridge to get the subway across the river.
Just found a nice sumac bush. Sumac, right? Sumac. I've just found a nice sumac bush. Nice bright red, sort of dead flower head. And if I go in tight and shoot at f5, with a fast shutter speed of around 250th of a second because it's a little bit windy, so I want to capture it nice and sharp. Should make a nice abstract shot. Winter colours. We've just come across this clearing on the trail, and there are these old architectural details from some of the old buildings that have been knocked down over the years. That guy looks cold. We've just been invaded and they're all using cell phones. I guess we're doing it all wrong. Andy, why have we got all this gear with us? Jesus. Now the valley is widening out. It's starting to look hopeful for some landscape photography in a downtown area of a city. It's quite wild down here. There's like woodland and yeah, could be interesting. And has found an interesting composition with the sort of orange bushes and the grey gnarly trees in the background and the line of white snow at the base of the shot. It's kind of an interesting linear abstract. Hopefully Andy will share that with us so you can see it now. We're right by a highway at this point of the trail, but look at the river now. Look how fantastic this looks. You would not think you're in a city. Take a look at this.
Here we are, we're at Pottery Road. So it's been quite a hike, all the way from, if you look on the map, down the Distillery District. We went up here, all the way along the river, up, and we are here. So it's 4.8 kilometers. That's how far it's been.
Just in case we didn't have enough exercise already, we got this hill. Well, we made it. We're back at Andy's house, just having a little snack and coffee to warm us up. And I think it was a good day. We got some good images. Look at this. This is the way to end a hike and a photo shoot. So here's to some good images. Cheers.